What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie all day. So from the great Scabber, the great Choir Boys Outdoors, I was sent a box full of knives to go over, and I am currently about to review the very last one of that box. And it's kind of crazy. I think it's the last one. I think there was 4 of them, and I got 3 of them done. So this is it. By a company I happen to love. This is from Condor. This is going to be the K-Night Cleaver, and it is designed by Jason Breeden, who, while I am not a cleaver guy, and I dislike cleavers. I mean, I just don't use them. I love cleavers, actually. I think they're just awesome, but I never use them. I'm EDCing today. Oh, I almost dropped that cleaver. The D-Bad Beast. This is one of my designs. And, I mean, if I needed a cleaver, I just pull that out. But this thing is no joke. We're going to go over the sheath first. The sheath is done really well. I like how you can adjust where you want your top strap to go. It just, the whole sheath just makes sense. There's nothing about it, in it, or on it that doesn't need to be there. It's a simple top load. It has areas for like cordage or attachments or anything like that. The belt loop is done well, and it rides this way. So you would pull it out away from your body, which is really smart. So I think this was done very, very well. I don't know if Jason designed the sheath or if this was a Condor thing, but the sheath is done really well, as is this. What I really like about this design is it's full out cleaver. It's a cleaver is made to do one thing, and that's chop down on stuff. The weight distribution on this is made to chop down on stuff. There's no other purpose for this knife than to chop down. This isn't going to be your throwing knife, or this isn't going to be your whittling knife. This isn't going to be your fillet knife. Can you fillet a salmon with this? Absolutely. As wide as it is, absolutely. But it's not your delicate knife. It's a cleaver, and it's made to cleave. So I think overall the design here is just fantastic. And Scab over at Choir Boys Outdoors has done reviews on all of these knives that I've presented that he sent, and his work is just fantastic. I mean, I said it before, I'll say it again, he does 6 miles of cutting. He just cut, like an entire video of just watching that blade cut. And it's fantastic. I love watching Scab. So get over to his channel and definitely check him out. I'll tag him somewhere in this, so it'll say like at Choir Boys Outdoors. Hit him. Go check him out. This thing is no frills, no goofy stuff. It has nothing that's not needed to be on a cleaver. And the problem with most designers, especially nowadays, back in the day, all designers design knives for a purpose. Nowadays, designers design knives because they want to outdo the next guy, and they want to show something that's never been done, and they want to do something crazy and something that's just different. But when it comes down to when you're doing it on like a custom knife, that's one thing. But when you're talking about a cleaver, you want to make it to where it's going to be familiar, because everybody knows what a cleaver feels like. And you want to be able to pick it up and use it as you would any other cleaver. But B, you want to make it to where it just makes sense. This thing makes sense. Even here, where he could have rose this area and then brought it down thinking, oh, it's going to be a thumb hole. It wasn't needed. So he didn't put it on there. He just dropped, boop, right into the curve. Right here in the belly, he could have done some funky try and do a recurve or something goofy. It's just not needed. The hang it hole, what we call it, you hang it near your barbecue on a tree, whatever, in your camp, so you can take it off the peg and go ahead and pound. It's big, it's purposeful, it works. Another good thing is bone snapping. If you are cooking and you need to snap a bone, you could put it in there and crack a lack, it'll break right off. There's different purposes for this, but mainly it's a hang hole. You have a choil pretty much inside. That way, if you are cutting through a meat nice and tight, you can choke way up and it is super comfortable. You have a finger well here, and then everything else is just straight grip. You even have a bone break on the end right there. You can use that for muscles or just hammering down on bone, but that's another good thing for this piece here. Boom, boom, boom. It's going to do that. I really, really appreciate not just what he did in this design, but what he didn't do. I think Jason kept it simple, keep it simple, stupid. And I think the simplicity works. It just makes the cleaver a cleaver. So then you say, well, then why not get any other cleaver? Because you want a good cleaver. And this is a really, really good cleaver. We're talking about 1075 high carbon steel. We're looking at a blade length of 8.19 inches, an overall length of 15.5 inches. You're looking at a 5 millimeter thickness. It is 10.93 ounces. It's not light, but you don't want it to be because it's a cleaver. It needs to hit hard. The finish is blasted satin. It is a flat grind. Thank you very much for doing that with a second bevel. It just makes sense. There's nothing goofy in it. Your handle material is micarta, and it is crazy comfortable. Micarta is my favorite handle material, and I think this is just done fantastically. And I believe that's it. So let's just take it outside. And I don't have a full barbecue set up, but I do have one little piece of something we could chop, and then we can go ahead and chop some other stuff. Let's go. All right, so out here in the sunshine, you can really get a good look at that handle. The texturing on the grip, Condor killed it. Also has a lanyard hole, so you can use a strap in case you were going way back to do some really heavy chops. You can wrap yourself a line and get a good lock. I think this is a very, very good looking cleaver. Not that I think it's a good looking cleaver. It is a good looking cleaver. I know that comes down to opinion, but I don't care what you say. It's good looking. I like how they did the edges up here too. This looks really, really good. So I've got these smoked pork hocks, which is like around the feet. There's a bunch of bone in there, and I want to chop those up, but the dog is gonna jump out of, so I might have to leave the yard to go hit those. But until then, what I'm gonna do is I am gonna just chop down on stuff because we have the ability to, and this thing is going to absolutely destroy when it hits, I think. So let's see. Yeah. I like it. So what I want to do is I want to choke up on this, because if you're out camping and this happens to be what you have, then you want it to be able to do the tasks that you need it to do. So if you are going to use it to chop up some game, you're going to need to cook that game. You're going to need to cook that food. So it's nice to know if you are going to be able to use this big fat edge to do the lighter work like feathering. There's a whole lot of feathers in there. And it's going to help you fire build. And I think that's great. So now, if I'm out and I don't have a pointed weapon on me, this is what I have, then I need to make a pointed weapon. So if I need to make spears for camp self-defense, like against bears and big cats and things like that, you know, I mean, there's been 2 accounts that are widely known where, hold on, in my pocket, I forgot. The D-Bad Pocket Warrior, another one of my designs. I have 2 of my designs on today. I didn't even realize it. A buck 110, which is very similar to this. There have been 2 accounts where people have killed a bear and survived with just their hunting style pocket knife. And that closes so nice. So if you can survive with a knife this big, making a spear, you can definitely survive with too. And that doesn't mean you can win against the bear, but it definitely gives you a better chance than if you have nothing. And while the cleaver might not be the best to fight against a bear because you want something that can poke, it would be really nice to be able to sharpen something up and have that poke and slash. Then you can double up and really improve your chances. And believe me, I'm not saying, hey, if you have a pointy stick, you can defeat a bear. But what I'm saying is, if you have a pointy stick, it's better than having nothing at all, right? And survival comes down to what if, just in case, and am I prepared? If you're not prepared, you're not going to survive. So having the ability to make yourself something to survive with, and obviously it would be longer than this, really, really makes sense. It really, really helps. Let's see. That is super nice. That is super nice. The weight distribution on this is incredible. The way it feels in the hand is just absolutely remarkable. I am digging it. Now, this edge is very, very well used. So if I tried to do a push cut on a rope to show you edge sharpness, it's kind of cheating. It wouldn't be right to the knife or to the designer or to the maker, because I'm saying, I'm going to use, oh my God, but it did it anyway. Using a used edge to try and show precision grinds isn't fair. However, it still did it. I didn't have to saw. I was able to push cut through a 1/2-inch rope. That is pretty freaking cool. So what I want to do is I want to chop into some tree limb here, and then chop up these hawks. All right, I can see absolutely nothing. I'm hoping I actually pressed play or record, and I'm hoping, because all I see is glare, I'm hoping that this is going to be in the shot. Otherwise, worst video ever. All right, let's try and just knock this down a little bit. Get away some of that hard piece there. Wow, that was nice. That was nice. Got to watch out for all these thorns in this thing. Got to be careful, because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just put it down like this. Ooh, the dog jumped in just as I went to swing. And I do that, and then they fly and they hit me. But when they have thorns, I would rather not have it fly and hit me. The polished edge is making a glare on the ground, and the dog is chasing it. So I have to be very careful. Gotta be careful. I don't want to chop off her head. Wow. That is some serious bite into this mesquite. That is serious. That is awesome. This thing is a banger. This is a banger right here, man. All right. Wow. I mean, that is tearing it up. I really hope it's in the shot. Let's turn that around and give it one shot. There we go. And just like that, I mean, winner, winner, chicken dinner. The thing is an absolute hitter. It's a hitter. This thing is a beast. Debark, absolutely no problem. Look at that. The cucumber test. The cucumber peel. That is amazing. It's the amount of control. I'm not even up into the choil. If I put up into the choil, I can choke down and use the rear of this edge, and it is super, super smooth. That is awesome, man. I mean, that is really, really nice. That is really nice. But this is a cleaver. We needed to cleave. Let's get that pork out somewhere. So what I really like about this, and one of the, wow, that's got really good balance. One of the things that I'm really enjoying is the fact that you don't even need overkill with this knife to prove how really good it is. I could have done a 30-second video, made one cut, just one cut, showing the balance, showing the power, showing the abilities of this blade. I could have done this in 30 seconds and it would have been enough for you to say, okay, that thing's badass. Of course, 30 seconds. We're not doing no 30 seconds. All right, hold on. Let's put this piece away over here and take out this nice piece of pork. Now this has got bones, just, you hear that, all through it. But we're gonna first come down on the skin and chop off a piece of that pork. Now this is already smoked, so I mean, literally, if I want, nom, nom, nom. Oh, it's delicious. I could eat it if I want, but what I'm gonna do is throw it for the critters over there. That's actually really good. All right, so I don't know where the bone starts. Look at that. That is really delicious. That is super, super. I gotta take another bite. The critters can have some, but I gotta share. All right. I'm pretty sure some coyotes are gonna get that. You can see how smooth this cut is. It is so easy to cut with. Okay, so here's a bone. I'm gonna cut all the way around. And I just, without trying, cut through a piece of bone right there. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I went right through the edge of that bone and it went right into it. Throw that over there. Got to take care of the critters. So now what I want to do is give it a full chop and go straight through that bone. And that was no problem. Now it rolled around in the dirt, so I'm not taking a bite of this. Where'd the other half go? Where'd the other half go? Outside of the video, I know. Look at this. Those are bones. Those are bones. That went straight through. Straight, and it was clean through, which means I don't have a lot of bone fragments around the meat, which is really good because bone fragments suck to eat. That is absolutely crazy. That bone is completely cut in half. Completely cut in half. This thing is a monster. Let's try one more piece. And I went with a short strike there just to show you the downward power is going to pretty much, talking off video, is going to pretty much just take care of itself. That's all bone. That is absolutely crazy. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. We got one more piece. I already got flies buzzing around it. That's a nice big fat one. That is a big piece right there, and I'm just going to go straight for the bone. You can see sticking out right here. That's just all bone. That was awesome. Holy Moses. That was awesome. I hit that at an angle and it just cruised through the tip of that bone. Let's hit it nice and flush this time. Oh, let's see. I went all the way through and I pulled short, and that's a good thing right now because now you can see all that's left is the fat right here holding it together. Look at that. Look at that. It's literally just the fat holding it together. Man, this cleaver rocks, boy. All right, let's see. Trying to get it set up on the blade. Oh, it still did the cut. I just left it right in the fat. This thing is fantastic. Fantastic. So I could have got it done in 30 seconds, but what would have been the fun in that? This thing is a really, really nice cleaver. Really, really nice cleaver. This is better than June cleaver right here. This, you guys know, the old heads know. This thing is freaking sweet. Jude and Ward cleaver. Anybody knows? Put it down. Oh, this is cool. And it's I can't remember the actual price. I know it's sub $200, and I think it's well sub $200. which is a good price, because this thing, man, if you are a cleaver person especially, this right here will take care of every cleaver need you have. This is a great, not a good, but a great cleaver. Man, Scabber over at Choir Boys Outdoors, I so appreciate him. You have no idea. Sending me this to be able to test out. Fan-freaking-tastic. Well, that's it for this one. I am Donnie B all day. Until next knife.